Well, here we go. Oh, let's get some real flight done. I hope that it will work. I just did a live stream just a few minutes ago where I attempted to fix a USB internet connection drive and utterly, completely failed at it. But it was a humbling and interesting experience, but it is kind of what you're gonna get. So today is the 17th, which if you are Italian, or I think mostly Italian, is not the best day. 17th usually is not the best day. It's like the 13th for the Americans, but anyway, since I'm not superstitious, I don't care about that much. I don't care about that much at all. Hey, I didn't remember I had stuff like this on here. I just didn't remember I had stuff like this on here. Let's take a quick look at some of the stuff that's on here. a long time ago, in a faraway land, I was designing things like that look like this. And then I had a whole bunch of really fun people that I really appreciated the help that they did. But for instance, these designs here that you're gonna see were entirely of my own creation. It was just me creating stuff using Photoshop. Look at some of these cool rides that I designed. Look at some of these cool rides that I designed. Amazing, amazing. Anyhow, then the cool thing about these things here that I designed, except this one. This one is just a rendering of one that I pre-designed myself. This is not the actual one that I designed myself. And also this one, I did not pre-design it myself. I did some sketches for that one, and most of the sketches look like this, and like this, and like this. So those were my sketches. This was actually a 3D model that I used to have on Turbo Squid, and that was stolen. This one, I think this one, and this one were all on Turbo Squid, and the company legally, okay, not illegally, they legally stole them from me because, God forbid, art colleges should teach you anything about legalese. God forbid any of those colleges or universities should teach you anything about legalese that's going to be worth a crap when you go into the real world, which is why art colleges and all that stuff and universities are, for the most part, pointless. If you want to do those, you can do those. They're very expensive, but always do some business school as well. Don't just rely on that to teach you how to give you the business acumen that you're going to need. But anyway, these are a bunch of fun vehicles that I designed. Again, some of them I did not. This one, I did not design this. I designed a sketch from which this was then created in 3D, same as this one and this one. Because just like Elon Musk, if you're running a company, if you're creating stuff, you can't do it all on your own. And so therefore I had a few awesome people that had interest in my vision and stuff and how I wanted to do things back then. And so we created a lot of cool things, some of which are still available on CG Trader that you guys could just go out and buy if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You could just drop a comment if you have a 3D printer and say, hey, Would you be so kind as to send me? See, this is the logo for Marvimation, and this is the logo for Meow Meow. I had this whole idea of meow cars and stuff. This whole idea of meow cars and stuff that I created. What the heck was that? An old non-disclosure agreement that I probably signed. Stupid me, stupid me. Don't sign non-disclosure agreements you don't understand. What else? What else was in here? Oh yeah, 3D printable things for your RC cars that I created. Look at that. The shell is not mine. That's a Walmart special. That's a Walmart special from New Bright. New Bright makes those shells there. What else did we have? Helipads? Helipads and stuff, and puzzle pieces, some of which are still on CG Trader, like these ones. Still available on CG Trader. For anybody who wants to ask me, I will let you get a hold of these cool things, and you can 3D print them yourselves on your machines. You guys have seen this. I painted this. It's got accessories. It's got accessories. You can put mirrors and a spoiler on it if you'd like. If you'd like. And then there was the sword. Wait, no, this one you can't. This one was just 3D, just a 3D model on its own. Whoa, just a 3D model on its own. This was pretty cool. It was a boat, 3D printable boat that you can just 3D print. I made a bunch of those. Anyway, those were printed out, I think, on the 1010, the worst printer ever made. But if you learn on that, you can pretty much print on anything because it's one of the dodgiest things ever invented. All right, let's jump into Real Flight. I accidentally turned it off. But anyway, I was at the helm of two amazing companies. The two most amazing companies ever. And the reason why they failed was I was running them on idealism. I didn't have a clue about business. I didn't have a clue about how do you monetize things. I didn't have a clue. If I had, I will always say this because it's true. If I had Eli the computer guy as my instructor for coding and business, I would not have tanked. I would not have tanked my two companies. But I was stupid. And naive. But anyway, the cool thing about that is that I may not have been the best boss. I tried to be the best boss that I could be, which is why, unlike any other companies, media companies out there that I had, one was more about creating clothes and stuff like that. That was a Meow Meow brand. Creating clothes with awesome artists and stuff. So part of that was the intention behind that company there. But the other one was just purely a media company that I was making. And the purpose of that was, since it was difficult, it was the crisis. It was the crisis time when everybody was getting laid off, that I decided to graduate from university. Stupid, I didn't know anything. I should have stayed maybe a couple more years just studying. Because when I came out, there was just basically pretty much no jobs for artists. Everybody was being fired pretty much. But anyway. Just saying. Although I was a terrible boss, maybe, I don't know. I know that I got a lot of hate for being a boss, because whenever you're a boss, you always get some hate, even if you try to do right by your employees as best as you can. And again, you can't really call them employees. That's why the definitions are important. They weren't employees, they were volunteer work. It was a volunteer workforce, vocational workforce. But the purpose of that was to get as many of those vocational artists seen, noticed, so that then they could work for things like companies such as Blizzard and Sony and all that stuff. That was the purpose why I created that. Why I created those two companies. That was the purpose. And then, of course, Facebook being Facebook, but nobody really knew that Facebook was being Facebook at the time, and hiding posts and all that stuff, and not really promoting people and all that stuff. And back in the then, I ran some ad campaigns and all that stuff, because I thought that if you put a little money into it, that maybe we could get some of these amazing artists that spend a lot of time working for Marvimation and Meow Meow to be seen, to be heard, to be appreciated for all the awesome work that they were doing for me and themselves. But no, nope, that's not how it went down. That is not how it went down. It went down as we are probably getting more views and all that stuff now, which is like 5, close to 10 years, somewhere between 5 and 10 years later, when it doesn't really matter anymore, because all those people, if they were lucky enough to find jobs, went out to find jobs. But, we weren't getting the views and the things that we needed in order to really make that happen. I was trying my best. To get people viewed, seen, appreciated. But anyway, some of them eventually did do better, and some of them did not. But anyway, if you ever thought that I was a terrible boss at any point, I'm just going to point out what's going on at Twitter. So maybe the hatred will be a little bit less. Maybe the hatred after so many years will be a little bit less. And one of the things that happened was, while all that was going on, not really some, there was just one employee. Again, not employee, vocational. Remember, if you're not getting paid in monetary compensation, I mean, I guess they were getting something back from it, visibility and stuff like that, but limited. It's that concept of freedom of reach on Facebook, and I was using Facebook, Instagram. I think MySpace was dying at that time. MySpace was dying at the time, so we weren't get a lot of things from, but Facebook, Instagram were big. YouTube was super big. I mean, YouTube was amazingly big. So YouTube could have helped. YouTube could have definitely helped me and the hundreds of awesome vocational artists that were working at Marvimation and Meow Meow. They could. YouTube could have. The algorithm could have helped. Again, we had a very widespread variety of Europeans, Americans, Indians, Asians. I mean, the company basically had pretty much anybody who wanted to participate in the projects. It was really what America would call an equal opportunity venture. Because as I said before, I had people who were working on all those projects. They were from all over the world, whether it was Europe, whether it was India, whether it was here Americans, whether it was people from Asia, everybody. There was at least one representative from every part of the world. That was that was my inspiration. I've always been in schools that were, for the most part, international, and so I thought I'm gonna make the latest and greatest company and use it as best as I can. Again, that company didn't make me a dime. That company did not make me a dime. It was completely non-for-profit, and any money at all that went into that thing was basically to hire some of, not most of the artists did not get paid, but there were a couple that were paid to build a few 3D models that I just did not have the time to do myself. Or the famous video game that I keep talking about, that was designed to help children of any age, even the youngest ones in preschoolers, to learn how to park. All of that is what the money was for. But again, as Eli the computer guy will explain in his venture, which he's doing it the right way, it is free to the end user, but it's not free as in you do need donations in order for the thing to run, because if you want to create office space and all that stuff. But the way that I was running things, you didn't need that because it was all virtually done. Everybody got together online, and through the use of email and Facebook, for the most part, it was just those two tools. We were able to communicate and build cool things. We did one really good project, which was Arthur and the Rain. We had can't remember if it was it Mostrafonso. I have to look it up again. There was one company that also collaborated with us, was very helpful, and they provided us with a couple of the 3D models, and I think their logo and stuff that we were able to use in order to advance. But again, they were a small Italian company. They were a small Italian company that was kind of sponsoring us a little bit, giving us some visibility and stuff. But again, I don't know that they did much, were able to do much else other than that. And so we, as a group, we built some of the 3D models and stuff like that. We had sets and all kinds of stuff done for that, which turned out to be pretty good. And then there was another really good artist which helped me create a Coca-Cola advert, which was really cool. And the whole point of that was there was a girl who was kind of upset, and then a guy would show up and do some fancy tricks and pretend that the can was a soccer ball. And then as that happened, eventually he would then open up a can of good old Coca-Cola and share it with her. Good times. Anyway. It was a long time ago. Long time ago. But good things did happen from all of that disaster. But I'm pretty sure that I also got a whole bunch of hate because, for instance, I had a really cool website. It was the Marvimation website, and that now is gone because one, I won't say if it was a boy, girl, or non-binary, but really wanted her face or his face or her face or whatever taken off. I can't remember if it was a boy or a girl or non-binary, but somebody wanted their face taken down off the website. And at the time when I received that email, I was down in the dumps because the company was doing absolutely crap. I was on the verge of giving up and all that jazz because we couldn't find funding and all that stuff. Everything was falling apart, and I was struggling to find work myself in person. I was having a great time running up the hills of California trying to sell solar. trying to sell solar, hoping that that was going to be my career. Um, so whatever. We're going to say it, because I can't remember if it was a boy, girl, or whatever. So we're going to say that it sent me an email saying, I really want my face off of the website. Could you just do that? And my memory, as always, is really bad, just like the Rubik's Cube thing. I've got videos on here where I show how I can beat the Rubik's Cube. But if you gave me a Rubik's Cube today, I couldn't beat it. And the reason for that is when I did that thing, I was just practicing Rubik's Cube day after day after day. I had all the algorithms sort of memorized, some of them on paper. And I used all those different crutches and techniques in order to be able to do that. So then out of the blue, it emails me saying, well, I want my face off of the thing, so I didn't remember how to do that. So I said, well, I don't remember how to use Wix. So I would gladly remove it, but would you mind just asking Wix to do it on their end? I grant you permission and all that stuff, so feel free to do that. And instead of just getting her face off the thing, she used her lawyers and my approval email. That's why it's important. Remember this. Remember, kids, anything that you write by email or social media can be used against you and can be used by lawyers to do things. So again, instead of just getting her face off, telling Wix that I given them approval to go in and just remove the picture off the thing, what he or she or it did was tell Wix to just destroy the website. So the the website was just taken offline. That's what I get for not understanding legalese. That is what I got from. So the company website that I spent years putting together, and all that stuff, just went away because its lawyers decided that they wanted its face off of the website. And because I gave approval in the email saying, feel free to ask Wix or whatever to take down the picture, the lawyers used that as an excuse to just down the entire website. So when you go on Facebook and you try to look at Marvimation and you try to do that, well, that's the story of that. That's why that happened. So remember, kids, if you're gonna do, what the heck am I doing here? I'm trying to get to the settings because it's running like poopsies. That's how it's running. I need to do with quality, and I need to remind this thing to run. Everything is on low already, though. Why is it running so horribly today? That is weird. Excuse me. So yeah, that's something to think about if you decide to create your own companies. I had two, as I said before, and the two that I had just went down. Click OK to automatically restart now. Okay, sure. I'm gonna restart it, and hopefully this time it'll run the way it's supposed to. Apparently, it decided to go back to running on high graphics or whatever it was. Why does it do that? Like in the past, one of the things that you would keep getting when running Real Fight was, we're just reminding you that we automatically put the settings down to low graphics, and then if you want, you can raise the quality of graphics manually, which was the way it should have gone. It is the way to go. This way, it is more compatible with as many platforms and computers as possible. By running it at the higher level graphics by default, you run into problems like what I'm experiencing right here, where I can't I can't fly well because it's running too jerkily. I think it's still kind of suffering from that issue a little bit, not as bad as before. So anyway, my Windows machine of death, Microsoft machine of death, because of Windows 10 is dead in the water right now. I was trying to install Windows 7, something went wrong, and I'm gonna have to use a reboot system in order to get it back up and running. So that was what was running in the background this morning when I was doing the soldering, the horrible soldering, which you should never ever try to do soldering the way that I did it. That was terrible. Yeah, it's unflyable today. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Is there something else I can do here with the graphics at some point? Maybe I just need to check the personal screens, resolution, graphics options, graphics properties. Maybe that'll do something. Maybe that'll do something. Oh, there it is. Okay, so 60 Hertz, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, graphics settings. There was a thing called graphics settings at some point. General. Display. Color enhancement. We don't need that. Customers. No. Don't mess with that. Monitor settings. 3D. Performance. Yeah, that's right. I want it to be performance. Performance. If there is any of that, I want it to be the minimum. Maybe that'll do something. I don't know. I don't know if that is going to do anything useful at all. Wait, custom. Yeah, performance. Yeah, that's right. Performance. Media. Brightness, contrast. None of that is going to be useful for anything. Let's give that a shot. May or may not do anything useful. Wait, where the heck did it go now? There it is. Let's try that again. Oy. So anyway, that was an interesting thing that happened back then. Back in the day when I was running two companies, Marvimation and again, running them into the ground because with no business acumen at all, with no understanding of legalese or how business really works, I was so idealistic. I was thinking, well, it's a virtual company, so no real like physical assets. Everybody can work from wherever they want, and that'll help with costs for sure. But then, how are you going to support the growing demands of the company? How do you support the business demands of the company? And eventually, because I did want it to go from that into a paid situation where I could just have a bunch of employees and pay them. I mean, that eventually that was going to be the goal, right? Although that may have been a lofty goal, if you don't know how to do, and this is before Kickstarter and all that stuff, so it's not like I could have just used Kickstarter or something like that to help out with the situation. So yeah, that was an interesting thing. That was an interesting thing there. That was not so interesting in the way that it was. And process tree. Let's do a bunch of these. There's a bunch of stuff going on here in the background that I probably forgot to disable because I did do a fresh restart on this thing. Microsoft Edge. What am I going to use that for? Oculus. Right now, we're not trying to use that, and that's taking up space and things. Presentation of some kind. I don't know what that's for. Tray stuff. I don't know what that's for. Get rid of that. Some kind of GUI eye. GUI. How gooey is it? Pretty goofy. Do we need this? Probably not. You don't need this, whatever that is. Maybe we do. I don't know. Maybe that's the real flight server. Do we still need Steam the Dream to run? Maybe we don't. Let's see. Let's see how that works. But again, this is a bunch of stuff that you can do on... yeah, it runs better now. It's a bunch of stuff that you can do here on Windows 7. I think XP was really my favorite more than Windows 7, but Windows 7 is okay. Windows 7 is A-okay. I can't get it to run on my Microsoft machine of death because they put so many different systems in place because they don't want you to do that. They want you to use... Whoa, that was a horrible landing. Oh, oops, dial-up. I don't know when dial-up would show up. I don't even have dial-up. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's things that you want to learn as somebody who may be just graduating out of school and you're thinking, I'm going to make the latest and greatest proposition to create the coolest company that is super idealistic. Funding, you know, there's no such thing as being able to do something that's going to be successful and just completely do it 100% for free. At some point, something's got to give. Something's got to give. And you are going to have to get some funding, real money, whether it's to pay for your life. I mean, if you're super rich, like not wealthy, just super rich, because those apparently are two different things. So if you are like super rich and you have endless amounts of cash at hand, not cash, but you know, like you have monetary value, credits or whatever, endless monetary credits on hand that you can use. Then when stuff like that happens, then you can build whatever you want, however you want it, and nobody's ever going to be in your way. But if you have limited resources and you think that you're just going to create a new amazing company and just run it, even if it's a virtual company, eventually you're going to run into some serious problems like I did, and you're just going to run it into the ground. And then people that may not like people, again, I'm not angry with whatever happened with website going. That was years ago. That's all water under the bridge. I'm just bringing it up because it's what you call like lived experience, right? Lived experience. Somebody who not necessarily was trying to destroy the company or destroy the company website was so eager to get rid of her or his or whatever face off of the website that they completely tanked everything. They completely tanked the whole thing. So now for posterity's sake, I can't even show you guys how cool that was, that website, because it was pretty cool, and it had like so many, like it was a testament, and a glorification of all the amazing artists that had worked for me for so many years, and there's no way of really getting that back. So it is lost, like maybe if you had access to the Akashic records, you might be able to get it, but that's probably the only way, and not a whole lot of people know how to do that, so it'll be lost in the black hole that is life. So anyway, what else? I was trying to think about when I was running those companies, but at least now, should I ever get hatred or whatever it is from anybody, I'd always say, well, look at what's going on with Twitter. Was I really that bad of a boss? I mean, fine. But I was failing at my job. My job was to try to promote artists and get them the best possible opportunities out there in the world by showcasing their work. But we did achieve something. We did create a couple of we had some cool animatics that came out of it. We had a bunch of cool stuff, and again, part of that stuff disappeared as well from my other YouTube channel, the very first YouTube channel that I had, and any of those awesome people that worked for me would know that I had a channel previous to the 2 channels that I have now. But yeah, I think after it destroyed the website, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I went into Google, Gmail, whatever, and I deleted the email that was connected to the YouTube channel as well as the YouTube channel. I couldn't, it's like I just couldn't deal with it anymore. The whole thing that the 2 companies had completely died and all that stuff. So I just tanked it. I just deleted it all, which leads me to the next problem, which is once I lost access to that email, that killed my Twitter account because I forgot how to get into Twitter, and then Jack Dorsey and a bunch of whoever was in charge of that disaster would not allow me back into my Twitter because I didn't have access to my email, which was deleted because it's the butterfly effect, right? You just keep spiraling and spiraling down into this into oblivion. When one thing goes wrong, it leads to another thing going wrong, that leads to another thing going wrong, and then people just stop giving up. They just give up. They're like, I'm done. There's no way out. But actually, in hindsight, if I could go back and talk to my previous self at the time, I would have told them, don't delete that YouTube account. Don't delete that email account, because guess what? Then you're going to lose access to your Twitter account. So that's like adding, extra injury to the whole thing, because then, I lost the opportunity of being able to work with Helen DeGeneres and the amazing Sir Champ Rica Frente. So that happened. So anyway, yeah. When life gives you lemons and you start chopping them up and getting upset about them and not turning them into lemonade and trying to sell the lemonade, then things go wrong. So just remember that. And also, please, if I was a boss and you didn't like my way of non-micromanagement, because I didn't micromanage at all. The way we had projects set up was, if I brought you on board because I thought you had skill or whatever, or you seemed to fit the right kind of thing that I was looking for, which was pretty low key. It was pretty low key. If you compare the way that I hired people, again, not hired, vocational hire, not the same thing. It's not a real job. The way that I brought people on board was I did not look at resumes. I would just throw in the garbage. I did not want to see that. I would check out portfolios. So people had portfolios on their YouTube, or sent me some images of some of the 3D models or some of the animations they did or whatever it was. That's what I looked at. I didn't want to see any resumes. That's one of the first things that I said. Don't bother with resumes. I'll burn resumes. Resumes are stupid. Because I want to be able to see if you could actually do the job. And that's more important. I didn't care about certifications. I didn't care about degrees. I was like, don't show me any of that stuff. That doesn't really mean anything to me. What means something to me, especially for the companies that I was running, is can you do the job? So I would just give them out a quick little test, something that they could do in maybe a couple of days. Can you build a 3D model based on these guidelines? Can you make an animation, a quick animation based on these guidelines, so on and so forth? That's the kind of thing that I was interested, because I wanted to be able to see if they were going to be able to do the job. If they were going to be able to do the job, that's all I cared about. And if not, a lot of them I actually worked with on the side and brought them up to speed so then they could do the job. Remember when companies used to bring people on board and do in-house training? That's gone away. So anyway, so that's the kind of horrible, conniving, son of a gun boss I was. And I still got hatred. I still got plenty of hatred. So it's just comes with the territory. If you're a boss, you're going to get hatred. And then the other thing that we did was then I assigned, once, of course, I just brought them on. Their face and stuff went on the website, so then they could prove to other companies when they were looking for jobs and stuff. They could say, hey, look, check it out. I actually work for Marvimation. I actually work for Meow Meow. And the way that you know is, look, I am on the company website. Yeah, I provided that service. At no cost, other than, maybe do a couple of hours of work per week. Because most of the so-called jobs or activities that I give out were like, okay, I'm giving you a week to build something, and usually it was, maybe do a texture for a 3D model, or render out a 3D model that we currently had, or do a small bit of animation. So it was something that, because I had the knowledge and the capabilities of doing all that stuff myself, I could definitely gauge and give out projects based on the lower end of what can be done in the field, because I wasn't putting them on the same level as what is probably required by like Blizzard or Sony, those top end companies, EA Games, if you will. So that's how we had things. That's how we had things running at Marvimation and Meow Meow. I gave people the reasonable amount of time to create things that were reasonable within a allotted period of time. They got those done or not, and based on that, they got to stay and continue on at Marvimation. And sometimes people would leave, and some people would give us back feedback saying, "Hey, well, I'm done. Thanks for the help, because I didn't just do that. I also helped on LinkedIn. I had a LinkedIn profile that I deleted as well. I deleted that because I was like, well, I can't find jobs these days. I can't do this. I can't find that. And I was all miserable with the Twitter thing. But anyway, so that was another thing that I did back in the day. I helped out with fun stuff like that. I would go onto LinkedIn, and anybody who worked hard on any of the Marvimation or Meow Meow projects, I would do them the favor of again, at no cost to them, and in a timely fashion, create some, it's not advertising, reference letters. I took care of reference letters. I took care of recommendations and all that stuff, so that if a boss from a paying company, was wondering if they had done anything good for Marvimation or Meow Meow, I made sure that those companies always knew how much I appreciated their kind help and support for doing the things that they did. And so there it was. That's the kind of boss that I was. But I still got hatred. I still got hatred. Because again, that comes with the territory. Bosses are gonna get hatred. So anyway, I can always go and point them out. Point out, this has been so many years since then. I can always point and say, but as bad as a boss as I was, hey, look at Twitter. Look at Twitter. And yeah. Anyway, I thought I just mentioned that because like bosses always get a bad rep for going the extra mile to helping out some employees. I mean, there are bad bosses. Don't get me wrong. But how bad was I really? Did I really deserve the amount of hatred that I got compared to what's going on at Twitter? Life goes on. It's fun to play stuff like this. So anyway, I'm pretty much screwed when it comes to getting my Microsoft machine of death back up and running. I completely screwed the pooch on that one. I think I'm gonna ask Steve. If he can make me a recovery flash drive. That's how badly I screwed the pooch on that one. That I'm gonna have to ask Steve to bail me out, to come to the rescue. Hey, where the heck is the next? Where the heck is the next one? I could have sworn I saw it earlier. There's one more picture that I need to take, and because Real Flight is not working at its best, in the sense that I can't tell how much time I have left in any of these things, I am gonna get dizzy. Oh no, there it is. I'm probably gonna miss my chance here to do this. I knew it. But yeah, that was close. I was about to be able to beat this level. But anyway, what do you guys all think? I would love to hear in the comments whether you think that my management style was something appropriate for the office, and whether you think I was a good boss or a terrible boss. I would love to hear that in the comments. Don't worry. If you think that I was a terrible boss, you can, again, I don't delete the comments that show up online. If you still think that I was a terrible boss, even worse than Elon Musk today, feel free to let me know. Again, was I a naive boss? For sure. Very stupid, naive boss, thinking that I could create two companies that were going to be successful at no cost, basically just running them, using no external funding or limited external funding, using tools such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube that were supposed to be cutting edge technology, that was supposed to help companies, again, multicultural companies, because my company was multicultural. I had people from Spain. I had people from all over Europe. I had people from America. I had people from Asia. I had people from India. You name it. I had a couple of Middle Eastern people working with us. But you know, I'd love to hear the thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whether my non-micromanaging style and my not caring about certifications and all that stuff, and just caring about whether people could actually spend the time and actually get things done. Whether you think that that is a good way to run a company or not. That would be interesting to hear. Because I did really work hard at it. I did work really hard at it. It just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. And again, if I had been lucky, just like Justin Bieber was, and got discovered by someone, and I almost did. Helen DeGeneres tweeted, hey, that thing that you did with Sir Champ Ricafrente was pretty cool. The Irvine mascot, the dog that was the Irvine mascot. That seems pretty interesting what you did, because we did a cartoon. We did a cartoon for that awesome puppy, the cutest puppy. Anyway, we did that. We built that with this really cool, artist who did animatics and stuff and animations. He did that, and we were planning to bring that to the next level with the help with Helen DeGeneres. And well, I was stuck out of my Twitter account. Couldn't use that tweet. Couldn't use that tweet to retweet and say, hey, go onto her Instagram. I never got that message. I got that message when it was way late, years and years after, when poor Sir Champ Ricafrente had already passed away. So I mean, it's, you know, it's hard to work with someone who is gone. God bless his soul. I love that puppy. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. The value of social media. Is it everything you've always dreamed of? Maybe it is. Maybe it is everything that you have dreamed of. When it all goes wrong. Again, Wix and the lawyers just tanking the website for one picture. I mean, sure. I mean, again, these companies didn't have one available customer service agent that could have gone into the website and just removed his or her picture. No. Yay. But you know what? The cool thing is that this is super relaxing now. Real Flight has really become a good way for me to get some of that stuff out that you need to just get out. Talk about your life. How did it go? Were you a good boss? Were you a bad boss? Ask yourself. Find a way to express the fun stuff that is your truth. Anyway, on the upside, yesterday I went out and it was really fun. I was just hanging out around the lake, getting ready to do one of those fun video takes where I just fly one of the drones and follow one of the vehicles. It was really fun. But I met a nice guy who just showed up and said, hey, what's up? What you up to with your drone and stuff? And so, yeah, it was fun. Had a good chat. And it was all hunky-dory. put me in a good mood. Shot a few good videos afterwards, and yeah. Fortunately, one of those videos was shot in VR, and I have not been able to put it up online. Why? Because I killed my Microsoft machine of death. The Microsoft Surface Pro 7 is down. It's down. Medic. Medic. I'm going to call Steve. Steve is the medic in this case. I was trying to create a boot system on another computer, but I don't have the password to run that. That is not my computer. I'm just borrowing a computer at home that does not belong to me. But since I don't have the password of that, I'm supposed to create this creator tool. There's create USB flash drive creation tool, whatever the heck they call it. It doesn't automatically come with Windows with Windows 10. No, you have to go to the website to download it, because a lot of the stuff is not plug and play. It's do it yourself. Everything is do it yourself. Learn how to plumb so that you can do plumbing at home. Learn electrical. Be the butler. Be the butler. Be the driver. Be the bus service. Be the everything today. It's all do it yourself. So yeah, that's fun. Really fun. Oh, I'm gonna destroy this cool drone. Let's try not to destroy this cool drone. Da 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 da. No. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for joining me on this epic journey. Hopefully you guys will learn something about business today. Something about business today. You can't just create something out of nothing and make it work with social media unless you get blessed by the social media gods. And whatever you do, go to a business class. Go to a business class and learn some business, because whether you're a scientist, there's a lot of extremely smart scientists, a lot of extremely smart coders, a lot of maybe smart artists that went out into the workforce and had no idea what legality and all of that systems and how things work and all the legalese and that, and they got pretty screwed. So take the time to learn some of that stuff. And in the meantime, squirrel, if you want to eat the most amazing pancakes that I've ever had in my life that are vegan friendly, you can go here. If you want to be ballsier about your life, you could always go nuts over here. If you want to buy yourself something awesome from Horizon Hobby, get yourself Real Flight. Real Flight, again, I strongly suggest that if you're going to buy a Horizon Hobby product that you want to fly, whether it's the Aeroscout, the Habu, any of these cool planes here, especially the Trojan. The Trojan is awesome. This is more for advanced pilots, but this one is a great one for beginners, as well as the Aeroscout. The Aeroscout is the best, in my opinion, for beginners that I've tried so far. Well, if you get it more advanced, you can get a proper jet, Top Gun. And yeah, anyway, if you're going to buy a plane to fly in real life, get the simulator first. But don't get the simulator that doesn't have this. Get the one with this one. Just save yourself the trouble. This is a great controller. And eventually, if you get the Aeroscout or any of those ready to fly kit with the Habu, you will be flying with this. So if you already know how to use it, it's going to save you a lot of time and money if you end up destroying all your planes if you don't have it. So learn to fly on the simulator first. And you can always buy some cheaper things, but they might give you some bad habits, because there's only one way that you're going to fly your ready to fly kit, which is with this remote. And so just save yourself some trouble. Save yourself some trouble. Let's say hello to all the cool, amazing channels here. and we're gonna finish the live in a second. But before we do, is gonna thank, as always, Shongmei, excellent, Color Farm, Didomiso, which provide a lot of support and awesome devices for me to show you guys and review. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, guys.